Hey Five Spokes, Karen here. As promised, just a quick video with some coaching tips on my Sprint Fest profile. This profile is all about speed. I'm using 3 different types: accelerations, sprints, fast, flats. So let's quickly go over what's the difference between each of those. So accelerations. How I use that term is have your riders find a baseline, something strong to work with. They're seated, it's a flat road. Have their RPMs just go to where they naturally go, something that they would probably fall into during their warm-up, okay? So wherever they naturally go. But you want enough resistance that you have something that you can accelerate off of. So in other words, you're going to raise your RPMs. Now, this does not have to be some crazy high RPM, up in the 110 range. It's simply find a strong baseline. RPMs where you naturally flow, right? You're getting this nice, strong flat. Enough resistance, you have something to work with, and you're going to speed up and then come back to baseline. So baseline, accelerate, 20 seconds, drop back. Accelerate, 20 seconds, drop back. Okay, that's it. Often I'll use those right after the warm-up it's kind of an extension of a warm-up, but especially if you're doing anything with speed. So that's accelerations. I'll save sprints for last. Fast flats, seated. Again, strong, steady baseline. Difference is duration. So my fast flats tend to go from 60 seconds to 3 minutes. And what you want to coach your riders to do is, obviously get them set up with their form, nice, strong, flat road, hips anchored, sits bones, wide part of the saddle, relaxed upper body. They've got this nice, smooth, steady pace going. What you want them to do, the challenge is, you're going to find the highest cadence with the most resistance that they can hold for whatever that duration is. So let's say it's 90 seconds, right? So 90-minute fast flat, I would coach something like this. Coming up, fast flats. I want a strong baseline. Get that RPM going, slide back, anchor your hips, feel those sits bones. It's like 2 weights pulling down, relaxed upper body, just find that rhythm. We're going to go 90 seconds, highest cadence, highest RPM that you can hold with good form, manageable breath. So something like that. That's a fast flat. Sprints, right? So we've talked about this before. We have videos, articles on it. We hear the word sprint tossed around a lot. Max effort, 10 to 15 seconds. Max effort. If you can take one more breath after that max effort, then you didn't go hard enough, right? Plenty of recovery time. That's the other thing I see. It's like, oh, we're gonna sprint, and it's like 40 seconds. You're not sprinting for 40 seconds, okay? You might be accelerating, you might be doing a fast flat, but you're not doing a sprint. So 10 to 15 seconds. It has a couple of parts to it, right? For sprints, you want to make sure the riders are prepared, right? So I get them physically set up, right? If they're going to sprint seated, they can also sprint out of the saddle, explode up into hand position 3. But let's get those parts down, right? Coach your riders something like this. All right, sprints coming up, max effort, 10 to 15 seconds. I'm going to cue it to 15. If you are done at 10, I want you to drop back. Your breath will tell you what to do. Listen to your body. So let's go ahead, get set. I want you to hear the music, feel the energy, start to build that excitement. I want you to picture either seated or standing, make your decision, and then I have them. So add resistance, feel that, get ready to explode. 3, 2, 1, go. There they are. they sprint, max effort, counting down, 3, 2, 1, bring them back after 15 seconds, okay? So that's a sprint. Get them, in my profiles, you'll see, I have them get them physically ready, so that's form, right? You're reconnecting them with the bike, making sure they're ready to go. Have them make a decision. Are you going to sprint seated? If you're going to sprint out of the saddle, you're going to add more resistance so that when you come up, you have enough resistance to explode with. So decide and go. Also mental, right? Music that I use, and I'm sure you do as well, right? Your music always, always, always should match the effort, right? So I love finding songs that have that kind of energy where it builds and builds and builds and then bam, right? So when I find that song, what I'm using is those builds in the song, that energy that starts to pick up in the song. That's where you're getting them physically, mentally ready to go. And then, boom, when it takes off, bam, they're sprinting, okay? So that's sprint, using all three. This profile, Sprint Fest, I'm using that, I used that after obviously my previous week, and we picked up on the theme that I got from my friend and colleague, Colleen Fisher, awesome instructor. Check her out, she has a Facebook page. And the theme was, it takes what it takes. And I heard her say that in one of her rides, and I told her, I'm totally taking that. It resonated so much with me. It takes what it takes. So we picked up on that theme for the Sprint Fest because I thought it was perfect. Because we're doing 3 different types of speed, right? Do what it takes. Do what it takes. Don't do more and don't do less. So it's that idea. Often we're just raised with that kind of give 110%, give it everything you have. Yeah, sometimes, but not for everything. You don't need to. And you want to reserve that energy so that you are smart about your challenges, so that you can meet the challenges, right? So accelerations, fast flats, and sprints. How I introduced this ride, so it went something like this. Today we have Sprint Fest profile. We're kicking off the new year. I wanted something with a lot of energy, but definitely doable because we're all wearing masks. So I've built in plenty of recovery time, and we have some nice, long, steady, high end of moderate, flat roads in between our sets. So it looks something like this. We're going to accelerate, we're going to do accelerations, we're going to do a set of sprints, and then we have this nice, long, steady refuel, steady pace in the saddle. You're going to be ready for each one of those sets. We're going to finish with several fast flats. You know what they are, those longer durations, just speed. We've got the wind at our back, no obstacles in our road. It's pure beauty. So that's what we're doing today. Get ready, let's get set up. And then I go into my usual form check and make sure everything is good and everybody's ready to go. So I also introduced our theme, right? It takes what it takes. I don't want you doing more than it takes and definitely not less. And then I also use my, some form of my standard intro, which is my job is to challenge you, lay out a fun ride, a challenging ride. Your job is to listen to your body, be smart, you challenge you. Are you guys ready? Something like that. So there are my coaching tips. If you have any questions at all, just go ahead, drop me a line. I'm always super excited by your questions. They're motivating. I'm happy to help, and I hope this helped. So as always, 5 spokes, Stay awesome. Enjoy the sprints.